we were younger in primary school, we used to cry that we didn't want to repeat class. But right now in old age, we are repeating patterns, we are repeating circles, we are repeating relationships, we are repeating environment, we are repeating negative patterns all over again. The only difference is that we are not crying and we are not asking, why is this happening? In primary school, we were learning how to be better, how to put effort to get to the top, to get to a higher class. But right now, why do we feel reluctant to learn about our lives? And darling, you see the most painful heartbreak people don't talk about enough. It's friendship heartbreak. Leave the boyfriend situationship, but a friendship heartbreak is the most underrated form of heartbreak that people don't talk about enough. Have you ever had a good friend and watched your friendship go south, which leads to you guys being separated? I feel like for every individual, that's the foundation of where heartbreak, that's the origin of where heartbreak started from. And for every growing child, that's actually the first stage of heartbreak. I don't know if there's another stage, but I feel like that's the first stage of heartbreak for every individual, and every individual faces in life. What we don't realize is that we need to heal from our primary heartbreak, like the foundation of where your heartbreak began, like all those primary friendships and all those things. If you don't tend to heal from your friendship heartbreak, you tend to take that energy into your relationships with people, loved ones, opportunity, and more so. And the pain from that primary heartbreak that you didn't heal from or you didn't acknowledge will make you feel like exhausted, emotionally emotionally unsafe, emotionally unprotected, and sometimes you might tend to feel unsatisfied. So when people struggle with being unsatisfied, wanting more, and not having enough, feeling exhausted, or not feeling emotionally safe, it tends to come from a lot from the primary heartbreak they have not totally healed from. Most of my clients reach out to me and be like, Kelly, we've been together for many years and I don't know how to move on from that. I don't know how to just leave that place of comfort. I know he slaps me, I know he yells, I know he shouts at me, but anybody that comes to me and does not do that same exact thing, that doesn't shout at me, that doesn't yell at me, or doesn't hit me, I don't tend to feel safe with them. I tend to feel like it's different. I tend to feel exhausted. I tend to feel like not satisfied. I tend to feel like I feel my whole body tends to feel unsafe. And they'll go on and say, I think I'm looking for his same attributes in another phase. And I'm like, tell you something about that particular issue. We are super cautious about our age. We are super cautious about the fact that we are growing older. We're adding another year. We're getting older. But what we don't realize is that age is never the issue, but our self-awareness. And I'm always talking about self-awareness because self-awareness tends to revolve around a lot of things in our lives. Yes, self-awareness tends to be the major factor for repeated patterns, repeated circles. It also tends to view limiting forces that hinder our next level, our next season, or our next opportunity that we're actually obstructing due to holding back to certain things and the ability to not let go of certain things. What self-awareness does now is that why most people are very cautious about getting older and they're scared of adding another year, self-awareness gives you an edge to see that you're not just cautious about your age, you're not just cautious about the numbers that are adding yearly, but you're cautious that you're building, you're succeeding, you're impacting, you're creating, and that you're actually being productive and being present. Sometimes you might, once you become self-aware, you might actually feel like you're actually too young for your certain age. That's what self-awareness does. It gives you an edge that makes you feel like you are glowing, you are exploring, you are doing things, and we are succeeding effortlessly. Most weird part of life is that some of the limiting forces, some of the setbacks that we feel like it's our village people that has to be doing this to us, it's our village people that is calling us, our village people that are not sleeping. Darling, I'm here to tell you that your village people are sleeping. They are drinking beer and they are eating bushmeat. They don't They don't even know you. The village people don't even know you. And one of the greatest enemy that we tend to face that we don't realize is the enemy within ourselves. The enemy that doesn't want to grow, that doesn't want to learn, that doesn't want to see how far we've come, that doesn't want to heal the inner wounds, but wants to be so cautious about the numbers that are adding yearly in our age. The enemy, that same inner person that doesn't want to let go of the past, doesn't want to let go of what's exhausting you, what's draining you, what you're feeling unsafe, you're feeling emotionally stressed, you're feeling emotionally drained, and they're still saying, I'll stay. It will get better. It won't get better. Let go so that you can heal in pain, heal from pain, and grow from pain, so that you can move to the next phase of your life, darling. Remember when we were in primary school and we were moving classes, primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, and some of us that we move to like primary 5, we tend to always feel like we want to go back to primary 3 to go and sit down our chair. Oh, break time, I'm going to go to primary 3 to go and sit down in my chair. I miss my primary 3 teacher. I miss primary 3. I used to be very, very active. Darling, whenever we don't tend to move forward, whenever we don't tend to heal, whenever we don't tend to learn about ourselves, whenever we don't tend to grow, we are repeating the scenario of us going back to primary 3 to go and say hello to our seat and our primary 3 teacher. And that's exactly what you're doing now. The only difference is that you're older and no one is tagging it for you. You're running back to primary 3 when you're in primary 5, going to find comfort in primary 3. But you're doing it in old age. And darling, and if you get to realize that most of the friends that we had in primary 3, primary 2, we were not really, the bond did not really get stronger when we got to primary 5. Most friendship either moved apart, moved away, we grew away from each other. And that's the same funny scenario. I want you to see opportunities, I want you to see people, environment, and mostly relationships. And if you don't tend to see that, you need to leave some certain things and move forward. When you're in primary 5, the thing that you are being taught in primary 3 is different from the thing that you are being taught in primary 5. And no matter how similar they sound, or no matter how good it seems, whatever you learned in primary 3 is not what you're going to learn in primary 5. Added knowledge, more stretchy, added experience. And if you don't begin to see life like that, you will not learn to let go, but you tend to be going back. The most beautiful thing is that when we were in primary school, they gave us report card to give us a proof for us to move to the next class. It's like an evidence for us that we are ready to move to the next class. But the only difference now is that no one is giving us a report card to know whether we are growing, or tagging us to know whether we are qualified to move to the next chapter of our lives, or to move to the age that we are growing into. And that's why we just feel reluctant to learn. Why don't you learn about yourself? Why don't you heal? Why don't you see what is holding you back? Why don't you see what you're struggling with? Why don't you see what your emotional, mental health is draining from, and tend to heal and tend to learn how you can let go of that situation? Why yearly returning back to circles, returning back to patterns? All because you're not giving a report card. When you were younger in primary school, we used to cry that we didn't want to repeat class. But right now in old age, we are repeating patterns, we are repeating circles, we are repeating relationships, we are repeating environment, we are repeating negative patterns all over again. The only difference is that we are not crying and we are not asking, why is this happening? In primary school, we are learning how to be better, how to put effort to get to the top, to get to a higher class. But right now, why do we feel reluctant to learn about our lives? Darling, it is never about the school, neither is it about the class. But the message I'm trying to pass to you, if something is not working, it is not working. Stop suffocating yourself, stop draining yourself, stop disrespecting your emotions and feel like we are going to be safe here. No, you're not going to be safe. You are disrespecting yourself. You're causing yourself to react negatively. And you're causing yourself to be irritated from within. You're causing yourself ability to be exhausted and the ability to be insatisfied, you want enough. What I'm trying to say is that it's the message. Something is not working, is not working. Let it go. Learn to learn. Let things go. If something is not working, why are you suffocating yourself in place of your comfort zone? Why don't you want to learn and move away from comfort zone? Why are you scared of dwelling in comfort zone, all because of all the good benefits from comfort zone, all the survival mentality in comfort zone? You're being exhausted, you're being drained emotionally, mentally. Learn to be self-aware of yourself. And if you say, how am I self-aware? Am I not self-aware of myself? I know my color. Self-aware is not about skincare. Self-awareness is not all about skincare. It's not all about what you wear. It's not all about, it's another level that comes from there, but that's like surface level. There are deep things to heal emotionally. As much as God is purging you when you are growing and God is healing you and you're taking therapy, you need to also understand emotionally you're meant to sit yourself down and heal. I need to like watch videos on self-awareness, a lot of videos on self-awareness, where you can be able to relate to how you can heal your inner child, heal your mother's wound, heal a lot of things that are making you repeat patterns. Because if you check last year and check this year, or a friend that knew you 5 years ago and comes forward and say, oh, hi, how far has it not? It's been 5 years. They cannot see any difference. They cannot see anything to say, okay, this is, oh, I left her there and this is not the place I met her, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And you're not growing, you're not learning things, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping to see how you can get better. You're just repeating classes. You are repeating classes. The only difference is that you're just adding years and you don't realize it. So, darling, I think I've said enough, but it feels like I'm not saying enough. But I think I love it for us. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. I'm your girl, Kelly E. Fokwe. See you guys on the next one. Bye.